If everyone would mute and give her full attention, we'd appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, today the subject is the dreaded reverse. Almost, not quite from the beginning, you start hearing about, well, that's not a good thing to do because you have reversed the hand. And people think, reverse? Why do I care about a reverse? What does that mean? Why can't I do that? What's wrong with it? Well, I'm going to do my very best to try to clear this up for everybody today. And so where I'm going to start is by saying what a reverse is not. When the opener has bid 2 suits, and it's possible for his partner to take a simple preference to the first bid suit at the 2 level, the opener has not reversed the hand. When you can take a simple preference at the 2 level, indicating that you have a minimum hand and better support for the first bid suit than you do the second, then that is not reversing. I have included a couple of examples here. Opener bids 1 diamond, responder bids 1 heart, opener rebids 1 spade. Notice that to go back to diamonds, the responder needs only to bid 2 diamonds. He can take a simple preference at the 2 level. Or if opener opens a diamond, responder bids 1 heart, opener indicates an unbalanced hand by bidding 2 clubs, responder can still take a simple preference back to diamonds at the 2 level. This means that the opener has a hand worth somewhere between 12 and 18 points. He doesn't have the jump shift or the 19 to 21 point hand because he did not jump shift at his second bid. Every time opener bids, he limits his hand a little bit more. And when we've had 2 bids here, now we can tell that opener's range is anywhere from 12 to 18 points. Occasionally, he may have opened using the rule of 20, and he may have even fewer than that. So it becomes important for him to be aware of how he's bidding when he has a hand that is not up there in that 17 or 18 point range, because if responder's weak, he needs to find a safe place to stop. Remember, when responder is minimum, he is looking for the safest place to pass. When he has 6 to 9 points, hopefully he can find a fit with the first bid suit if it's a major. But if he can't, he's looking for the safest place to pass. And in this case, at the 2 level, when he can go back to the first bid suit, opener has not reversed. Simple preferences can be taken at the 2 level. Now, that's different when opener has reversed the hand. There are certain things to remember about a hand that can be shown by reversing the hand. In other words, certain shapes that lend themselves particularly well to openers using a reverse. One of them is that the first bid suit is longer than the second bid suit. In other words, a reverse denotes an unbalanced hand. The first bid suit should be longer than the second one. A hand that is reversed should have 17 or more, be worth 17 or more points. That means it could be 16 high card points and some distribution, but certainly no less than that. A lot of times the hand that is a candidate for a reverse is one that maybe falls into that 1 no trump opening range, but cannot open 1 no trump because it has a small singleton in it. So the hand that reverses has the first bid suit longer than the second one. It is worth at least 17 points. It is forcing for 1 round, because when it has that many points in it, if responder has 8 or 9 points, there's a good chance there's a game. That's why it's a 1 round force. It denotes a better than minimum opening hand. And finally, and most importantly, the second bid suit is higher in rank than the first bid suit and is bid at the 2 level. If we go back to the previous slide, you notice that with the exception of the 2 club bid here, this 1 spade bid was at the 1 level. Right away, we know that this is not a reverse because the second bid suit was bid at the 1 level. 2 clubs is at the 2 level, but clubs are lower in rank than diamonds. So this is not a reverse, even though the second suit is at the 2 level. So it can be hard to visualize this. So here are some examples. Opener bids 1 club, responder bids 1 heart, promising at least 6 points and at least 4 hearts. Opener now bids 2 diamonds. This is a reverse because number 1, diamonds are higher ranking than clubs, and the second suit was bid at the 2 level. Notice that for responder to take a simple preference back to the first bid suit, he has to bid 3 clubs. Anytime responder has to go to the 3 level to take a simple preference, that's a strong indication that the hand was reversed. In order to be successful at the 3 level, you need more points between the 2 hands than you do when you're playing just at the 2 level. Generally, it takes 22 to 23 points or something like that to be successful at the 3 level. So when you're first beginning and you end up bidding something like this and responder bids 3 clubs, if opener is unaware of reverses and doesn't know that he has reversed, and we don't teach this right off the top at the beginning because we turn the fire hose on people who are just learning to play, and reverses are not something that we worry about at first. But I've been talking about reverses off and on, and so has Dawn here now for the last 6 or 8 months, particularly trying to get you guys kind of used to what reverses are and why they might be important. But when you bid 3 clubs and you don't have enough points to be at the 3 level, you're not often successful. And if pairs think about it, well, why did we not make that bid? Partner went back to my first bid suit. The problem is that you are playing at the 3 level and you only had sufficient points to be successful at the 2 level. That's why bidding this way requires opener to have more than a minimum opening hand. It's because when you push the bidding up like this, you get too high very quickly if you don't have more than a minimum. Likewise, if opener bids a diamond, responder bids 1 spade, well, we all know what happens. How many times have you heard me say that when opener rebids 2 hearts, you know that your partner doesn't have 4 hearts because he skipped over hearts to bid spades. That doesn't mean that the opener doesn't describe his hand appropriately when he has the right number of points to reverse. He has forced the bidding 1 round here, and we don't know. Responder may have 5 spades and 4 hearts. This is one way we can still find a 4-4 heart fit. If we don't have enough points, the 4-4 heart bid can be lost because without enough points to bid 2 hearts here, opener is forced to rebid 1 no trump. Sometimes that's painful, especially if you have 5-4-3-1 shape and you have a singleton and an unbid suit. It makes you a little uncomfortable to rebid 1 no trump. I know it does me. Sometimes you're forced into taking actions that you don't want to take. You may have to raise responder's major suit with only 3 card support. We beat it into your heads not to do that because responder only promises that he has 4 of them. But sometimes your back is in a corner and you have to bid again because your partner bid a new suit. Your partner has forced you to take another call. So you have to bid something. And sometimes you have no other appropriate call than to do that. So.
Gail has a question, Susan.
Yes, Gail, go right ahead.
On that second example, is that saying that that the two hearts, if diamonds were opened with 3 diamonds, the 2 hearts stayed 4? Because if the hearts, if there were 5 hearts,
But yes, but this is not responders bid. This is responders rebid. This is openers rebid. If
Right.
responder were to bid, say for instance, opener opens a spade, for responder to bid a major suit at the 2 level as a new suit, he promises 5 hearts. Responder is not, our opener is the bidder here, not responder. And this is not his first call. This is his second call.
so how many, so if he needs to show more cards,
Yeah, this shows 5 diamonds and 4 hearts. Remember, if he had 5 hearts and 5 diamonds, he would open 1 heart, not 1 diamond. Right?
yes,
So
okay.
this shows 5 diamonds and 4 hearts and a hand worth about at least 17 points.
Okay,
Thank you for clarifying that. You're exactly right. For responder to bid hearts, if opener bid 2 spades, to bid hearts as a new suit at the 2 level, responder has to have 5. But this is not responder's bid. This is opener's rebid. Now, when you're looking at your hand, trying to figure out if you have enough to reverse, you can give yourself an extra point if all of your high cards are in your 2 longest suits, those 9 cards or those 10 cards. Sometimes you have 6-4 or even 6-5 occasionally. If all your high card points are in your long suits, give yourself an extra point, bump it up a little bit. And if you have good spot cards, of course, you always want to upgrade your hand if you have 10s, 9s, and 8s instead of 2s, 3s, and 4s. And if you should not count any unsupported queens and jacks in those short side suits, because chances are very good that they are not guarded. And so they're not going to be carrying their full weight. So let's look at some examples here.
Susan, before you do,
Sure.
a couple other questions. One in the chat, what if you're 4-4, but you have the 17 count?
Well, if you're 4-4, you probably have a balanced hand and you should open 1 no trump. If you are 4-4-4-1, as long as that 1 is an ace, king, or queen, opening 1 no trump is acceptable. Now, Dawn, you'll have to give us an opinion here on 4-4-4-1s that have a small singleton in them. As if I'm correct, that's still not a legal call. Is that right? Is Dawn with us?
Oh, we may have lost Don.
Uh-oh.
What your question, let's see. Your question has to do.
Was there a question?
Yes, for you. If someone asked if you are 4-4 in the 2 suits, what do you do if you have the 17 points? Well, if you're a balanced hand and you're 4-4 in the 2 suits, you're going to open 1 no trump. But if you are 4-4-4-1 and the 1 is not an ace, king, or queen, is it okay to open 1 no trump? It's not, is it?
No,
No.
no.
So what?
Now, in the open game, there's a little more room for improvisation. But
Yeah.
if you're playing in the limited game, your 1 no trump openers have to be natural, and natural requires, if you have a singleton, it has to be an ace, king, or a queen. And
So
you can
what
have
you can do in that case is what you can do in that case, it depends on which suits are your 4-card suits. If you have only a 4-card minor, you would open that one and then rebid one of your majors. If your singleton is a major, well, I'm going to get into this a little bit later on bidding 4-4-4-1 hands. That's for next week. But let's just leave it at this. If your 2 suits are 4-4 and you have 4-4-3-2 distribution, you're going to open 1 no trump. You're not going to manufacture a reverse. Okay.
If you have, say, 18 points, you still do that?
If I have 18 points, I'm going to open in my longer minor because I don't have a 5-card major suit. And then I will reverse the hand at that point. 18 points is enough to reverse, certainly.
Okay, one
There was
more.
a hand that came up in a game probably Wednesday where the opener has 5 clubs and I want to say 4 anyway, had the singleton spade and it went 1 club, 1 spade, and now trying to find a bid with 14 points over the responder's 1 spade bid. Only had 5 clubs, so rebidding 2 clubs wasn't nice. Having a singleton spade, didn't like to bid 1 no trump. What the person did was did 2 hearts and was way too weak for that. So it was an awkward hand.
Yeah, those hands are difficult to bid. Some people will open a diamond and rebid clubs in that instance. And what happens then is that your partner takes a preference back to diamonds with only 3 card or even sometimes 2 card support, and you end up playing in a really bad fit. Some hands are just really awkward. No system will address every single hand that comes up. And the best way to deal with them depends on how much experience you have. You gain experience by having difficult hands and messing them up and saying, well, that didn't work very well. And so when it comes along the next time, you try something else. There's no one right answer for every single hand. I'm just trying to make you aware of when you are reversing the hand, when you don't need to and don't intend to. Okay. So
Okay, Patty has her hand up.
who does?
Patty Singleton.
Okay, go ahead, Patty.
Okay, I was wondering when you're playing 1 no trump forcing and you open 1 heart, your partner says 1 no trump forcing, and then you come back and you want to bid a 4 card spade suit. That's not a reverse.
Yes, it is a reverse. Yes, it is a reverse.
So you can't do that unless you've got the points then.
That's
Okay.
exactly right. Now, when your partner responds at the 2 level, promising you, if you play 2 over 1, that promises an opening hand. If you don't play 2 over 1, that promises at least 10 points. 10 points and 13-ish for the opener means you have the 23 to be safe at the 3 level. So when your partner has responded at the 2 level, you can then bid another suit without being concerned about whether you have enough points to end out at the 3 level, because your partner has promised you 10. That's why I keep getting after people who respond at the 2 level with fewer than 10 high card points. You may end up at the 3 level and you need to have sufficient points to be there. But when you play the 2 over 1 game force, if you open 1 heart and your partner responds 2 diamonds, when you rebid 2 spades, that's your second bid at the 2 level in a suit that is higher ranking than your first one, that does not promise extra values because your partner bid at the 2 level and you're already in a game forcing auction. So sometimes the system that you play modifies what the rules are. Does that make sense?
Yes.
But when your partner bids 1 no trump forcing, he's only promising you 6 points. So you
Yeah.
can't reverse with that minimum opening hand. Okay?
Okay.
Debbie Wade has her hand up too.
Okay, Debbie.
Well, I'm just wondering, when you say you need 17 or more points, do you have to have high card points to do that? Or do you count length? Or do you count a void? Or how do you get to 17?
Well, you never count a void until you found a fit with your partner. Never count
Okay.
shortness until you found a fit with partner. So you would need a minimum of 16 high card points and then one point for length in a 5 card suit. But we'll get to how to modify your point requirements with different distributions here in just another slide or 2. Okay.
Sounds good. Thanks.
You bet. All right. Now, here are some more examples. Which ones of these are examples of a reverse? I didn't put the answers in here, so get your pencil and get ready to mark. North opens a club, South bids a heart and North rebids one spade. Is that a reverse?
No.
No, that's right. The second bid's not at the two. This is normal up the line bidding because the second bid suit here is at the one level. This is just plain old garden variety. North's describing his hand here. Hand number 2, North opens one club. South responds one spade, and now North bids 2 diamonds. Is this a reverse?
Yes.
Yes, it is. That means South needs to bid again. It's a reverse because the second bid is at the 2 level, and the second bid suit is higher in rank than the first bid suit. So South has to go to the 3 level to take a preference back to clubs. That's the flashing neon sign that says the bidding or opener has reversed the hand and I have to bid again. Here's another one. North bids 1 diamond, South bids a spade, and North rebids 2 hearts. What about this one? Is that a reverse?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Hearts are higher ranking than diamonds. The second suit is bid at the 2 level. This describes a hand with at least 5 diamonds and 4 hearts. It may be 6-5. We'll know again when North takes a third call. Sometimes when you have 2 really long suits, it takes you 3 bids to completely describe you the hand. But in this case, South has to bid again. Here's another example. North opens a diamond. South responds 1 spade. And now North bids 2 clubs. What about this one?
No,
Oh, that's right. Even though the second bid suit is at the 2 level, clubs is a lower ranking suit than diamonds. So this is not a reverse. South can take a preference to 2 diamonds if he has a minimum hand. Number 5, North opens a diamond. South bids 2 clubs. North bids 2 hearts. Does North have extra values?
Yes.
Think again. He may or he may not. South has promised at least 10 points here. If you played the 2-over-1 game force, you're in a game forcing auction here. Once South has responded at the 2 level, the bid of a new suit that's higher in rank by North doesn't absolutely guarantee extra values.
Okay.
The reason being is that South has promised at least 10 points here if you don't play 2-over-1. If you do, he has an opening hand. And now North can show that 4-card major without promising extra values. Either way, once there's been a 2-level response by the partner of the opening bidder, then bidding that major suit may or may not promise extra values because you're going to be safe at the 3 level. We know South has at least 10 high card points and North has at least 12. So 22, 23 points, good for the 3 level. So this may or may not promise extra values. It looks like a reverse, but technically it is not because responder's bid was not at the 1 level.
Okay.
Here's the question that Patty had earlier. 1 heart by North, South bids 1 no trump. Whether it's forcing or not, North says, I'm going to bid again. I bid 2 spades. Is that a reverse?
yes,
Yes, it absolutely is. 1 no trump only promises 6 points. And notice South has denied having 4 spades because he bid no trump. He denied having 4 spades. You should never bid 1 no trump when you have 4 spades in your hand and your partner has opened 1 heart. You can very easily miss that 4-4 spade bid unless the opener has enough to reverse. And that's not usually the case. Those medium strength hands just simply don't occur as often as the minimum opening hands do. So this is definitely a reverse, and South needs to bid again. Notice he'll have to go to 3 hearts. If he has no fit for either one, he's got to bid 2 no trump, and North is not going to be thrilled about that because he has an unbalanced hand. But such is life, such is life. That's why North has to have extra points to bid this way. This time North opens 1 heart. South says 1 spade, and North bids 3 clubs.
No,
What in the world kind of a bid is that?
jump shift.
That's a jump shift. And most pairs play that as a game force. This also shows an unbalanced hand with 5 hearts and at least 4 clubs, maybe more clubs than that. But a grand total of 19 to 21 points. This is the hand that's 1 step below a 2 club opener. 19 to 21 points. Partner has shown at least 6 points. So we're in a game forcing option here. North opens 1 club, South bids 1 no trump, denying any 4-card major suits. And then North bids 2 hearts.
Yes,
Yes, that is a reverse. Absolutely, that's a reverse. And South needs to bid again. We know he doesn't have 4 hearts. He may have 3 and decide that that's the safest place to play. I mean, as I said, when South has a minimum hand, he's looking for the safest place to pass. We know he doesn't have 4 hearts. If he has 3, and maybe he has 9 points, but if he has 9 points, we know partner has a hand worth 17. If he has 9 points, there's a chance that 3 no trump will make if he has the right 9, right? So that's why he should not pass that reverse. You just don't need nearly as many points opposite a hand that can reverse as you do if you have one that doesn't. Now, when I was talking earlier, I said no queens and jacks that are strays in your short suits. In other words, your short suits will be 2 doubletons. You might have 1 tripleton and a singleton, but in this case, we have ace jack 3, king jack 4, king queen 4 2. All these, the queens and the 2 jacks here are paired with other honors. Those need to get full value. It's when you have stray queens and jacks in the short suits that are not supported by any other honors that you need to be really, really careful about giving full value. They're not liable to carry their weight. So remember, when you are reversing, it's lower ranking to higher ranking, the opposite of how you would normally bid. Normally, if you have a higher ranking and a lower ranking suit that you want to bid, you will start with the higher ranking. But when you have a longer suit that's lower in rank, and then you bid that shorter suit that's higher in rank, you need to have more points because you're going to force partner to the 3 level. Now, opening 1 diamond means you can't reverse into 2 clubs. Clubs are lower ranking than diamonds. So opening a diamond and rebidding clubs is never a reverse. If you have that kind of strength in your hand, hopefully you have one that can be evaluated at 18 or 19 and be worth a jump shift. But when you open 1 diamond, you cannot reverse into clubs. Now, reverses after a 1 level response go from a lower ranking suit at the 1 level to the higher ranking suit at the 2 level. That is what distinguishes a reverse. Now, there are some traps to avoid, obviously, when you're thinking about this. I've noticed one thing, and I'm guilty of it, just like everybody else is. When I have a new toy, all of a sudden I look for places to use it, and a lot of times I use it inappropriately. Or as I heard one person put it one time, when you're a 4-year-old with a hammer, everything looks like a nail, right? Okay, well, this is pretty much the same thing here. When people first learn about reverses, sometimes they want to fabricate a reverse so they can show off what they know, or they want to show the points to partner. Try not to distort your shape when you're describing your hand to your partner. Remember, opener's job is to describe his hand. That includes his shape. You can show points on the third round of bidding if you need to do so. You don't need to open a 4-card suit and reverse into the 5-card suit to show your points. That's distorting your shape. Partner will take a preference back to that shorter suit if he has to do that, and he might have only 2 cards in it, but he thinks that you have more cards in that one than you do in your second one, and you may end up playing a 4-2 fit. I am here to tell you from my own personal experience that 4-2 fits do not play well. So if you don't want to end up in that situation, learn from my bad experience and don't fabricate a reverse. Just do the best you can to describe your hand accurately. Now, also don't forget that when you have a hand worth 16 or 17 points that's balanced, don't forget to open 1 no trump. 1 no trump is a wonderful bid. When you have 15 to 17 points in a balanced hand, you have put your hand in a box. And one of our really fine players at the club, whose name is John Parrish, is famous for saying, the sooner you can put your hand in a box for your partner and describe a lower limit and an upper limit and a balanced shape or an unbalanced shape or whatever you're doing, the better off you are. You give your partner more information so he can make a good decision. So don't forget to open the 1 no trump when you have a 4-card minor and 4 hearts in your hand, or even when you have 5 clubs and 4 diamonds. It is okay if you're 5-4-2-2 to open 1 no trump. It is all right to do that, especially when you have something like this hand that I've shown here. Look, 12 of your 17 points are in those 2 doubletons. This is a really, really good hand to open 1 no trump with here. If partner has 4 hearts or 4 spades and enough points, he'll bid Stamen. You can still find a 4-4 heart fit. Now, it's possible with 17 points and a 5-card diamond suit and a 4-card heart suit that all right. So with this hand, with the bulk of your points in your short suits, I would lean toward opening that 1 no trump rather than opening 1 diamond and then rebidding 2 hearts. Simply because most of the strength is in those 2 doubletons. I know that doesn't look a whole lot like what most of you would consider a 1 no trump opening bid, but semi-balanced hands are also okay for opening 1 no trump. Semi-balanced is 5-4-2-2, 6-3-2-2, particularly if I have a 6-card minor. Now, if that 6-card suit is a major suit, I'm not opening 1 no trump. I open 1 no trump when I have a 5-card major suit, because when I have a 1 no trump opening hand, if I open my 5-card major suit, I have a rebid problem. I don't like rebid problems. But if I have a 6-card major suit, I don't have a rebid problem. If I have 16 points and a 6-card major suit, I'm jumping to the 3 level in my 6-card major suit. No rebid problem there. In this case, you could open a diamond and rebid 2 hearts, but with the bulk of the points in these 2 doubletons, I would strongly consider opening that 1 no trump. This is a matter of judgment and your own personal style. It's not a rule at all. You and your partner should talk about hands like this and decide how you feel more comfortable in bidding it. Now then, here's a minor little point. we've talked about splinter bids before, and I believe that we covered splinters by opener when we talked about splinters. I think, golly, it's probably been a year or more ago now. But I want to remind you that what looks like a reverse here that is a jump bid is actually a splinter by the opener. It shows shortness in the suit that was bid, which is hearts. It promises 4-card spade support and enough points to insist on game. In other words, this is a hand that has about 19 points in it at a minimum. It has 4-card spade support and a singleton or a void in hearts. That looks kind of like a reverse, but it's a jump reverse. That is a splinter bid. If you and your partner do not play splinters by opener, don't worry about it. But if you do, that is what that means. Now, here's what I said earlier, and I'll remind you of it again. Some of you play 2/1. If you and your partner do play 2/1, reversing does not promise extra values. You're in a game forcing auction, so you can show your 4-card major suit without promising extra values. There are no reverses when you've had a 2/1 auction. Now note that even if you play 2/1, not all auctions are 2/1 auctions. They really don't come along all that frequently because it requires 2 opening hands. It just provides an easier method for the partners to communicate their hands in terms of shape and point content if you play 2/1. But when you're in a forcing auction, say if the opener bids 1 diamond and then responder bids 2 clubs, a bid of 2 of a major suit by opener does not promise extra values. So if you and your partner play 2/1, you're probably aware of that. But if you're just learning 2/1, file that away. It will come in handy. Now, the most common distribution in a hand that reverses is 5/4. And that follows a 1-level response. In other words, responder has bid a suit at the 1 level. So the most common 5/4 hand patterns are 5 clubs and 4 diamonds. That one seems to happen with an amazing amount of regularity. Sometimes it's 5 clubs and 4 hearts, and then that's followed by 5 diamonds and 4 hearts, and then the old 5 hearts and 4 spades. And obviously, if responder has bid at the 1 level after you've opened a heart, he's either bid 1 spade or he's bid 1 no trump, hasn't he? If he didn't bid 1 spade, then you know he doesn't have 4. But if he bids spades, you're not going to worry about what your rebid is. You're going to raise his spades immediately. That's why it's so important for responder not to skip over a 4-card spade suit to bid 1 no trump after partner has opened 1 heart. It's easy to miss 4/4 spade suit bits if you do that. Now, in each one of these cases, openers should begin with the 5-card suit, and hopefully you have your rebid planned before you open. Maybe you have the values to show that 4-card suit, and maybe you don't. If you don't have enough to reverse, these are your choices.
Susan, there's a question from Roy.
Yes, go ahead, Roy.
Going back to the splinter bid, I
Uh-huh.
was under the impression that splinter bids were 2-level jump. And this is a 1-level
No,
jump.
splinters by opener can be only are not a double jump. Splinters by responder are a double jump. Splinters by opener are not. Does that make sense?
Okay, I didn't know that there was a distinction between the two.
Yes, there is.
Okay, thank you.
Well, sure. You can see why that's necessary because once responder has bid it's taken up bidding space. And if you required a double jump by the opener, you might go past game. Or you might go past 3 no trump. That might be your best spot. Well, with a splinter, it's not. You've got to suit, you've got to fit somewhere. But, and remember, splinters can be used to show support in a minor suit too. But there's such a thing as a mini splinter as well, which is even a horse of another color. I'm not going to go off that way. But depending on the type of splinter it is, it may be a double jump or just a single jump. All right, now then, I'm fixing to say something that most of you thought that you would never hear me say. I beat the drum all the time in that when you raise your partner's response of one of a major suit, you have to have 4-card support. There's one exception to that. And you guys knew there had to be an exception, I think. Nearly everything in bridge has an exception. Only the rule of 11 that I know of is the thing that has no exception. It always works. If you use a 4th best lead, the rule of 11 will always work because it's mathematical. But in this case, obviously, most of the time when you raise your partner's major suit response, you're going to have 4 cards. Once in a while, you will have a hand that won't allow you to reverse when you have the holding that indicates that the best way to describe your hand would be to reverse, but you just don't have enough points. What am I going to do? If you have 5, 4, 3, 1 distribution with 3-card support for your partner's major suit, then you raise your partner's major suit response. Maybe he will have 5. You never know. Sometimes he does. If you have a singleton, hopefully with that 3-card support, you have an honor and 2 little ones. And with those 2 little ones, hopefully partner can rough out some losers in that suit where you have the singleton. So in other words, you don't do it with a balanced hand. If you have a balanced hand, you rebid 1 no trump. But when you have a hand that has a singleton in an unbid suit and you're nervous about bidding no trump, particularly if that singleton's in a major suit, it always makes me nervous to rebid 1 no trump with a singleton in a major suit. Then I'm going to raise my partner's major suit with only 3-card support. Now, you and your partner need to agree that this is acceptable if that's what you want to do. Sometimes the only makeable game on a hand is in a 4-3 fit in a major suit. When I first began playing, my mother taught me Gorin, and we played 4-3 fits all the time, but we had better hands when we opened. These days, if you're going to play a 4-3 fit and you're going to end up in game, you need to have a little shape in that dummy. And that's why you want to have 5, 4, 3, 1 distribution. If you had enough to reverse, you would bid the 5-card suit and then bid the 4-card suit. Since you don't have enough to reverse, raising partner's 4-card major suit with only 3 cards is acceptable when you are 5, 4, 3, 1. If you are balanced, please rebid 1 no trump. If your partner has that invitational hand with 5 cards in the major suit, if you play new minor forcing, you can find that fit. There are ways of finding a 5-3 fit when you have rebid 1 no trump. But it is acceptable to raise with only 3-card support. Yes, I really said it. I really, really did. One of your other choices is to rebid the 5-card suit. That, as Dawn indicated earlier, that is not your option of first choice. If I have 3 cards in my partner's major, I'm going to take a chance and support it because he could have 5. I don't want to rebid my 5-card minor suit, especially. Some of these hands are just ugly and are hard to bid, but rebidding a 5-card minor suit is not very often a good choice. If you have a balanced hand, or semi-balanced hand. 5-4-2-2 would be a hand that might one club, 5 clubs, 4 diamonds, and 2 cards in each major suit. That's a good candidate for a 1 no trump rebid. We're not ever going to raise partner's major suit with only 2 card support because he promises only 4. And as I said previously, 4-2 fits don't play well. Not at all. So when you have 5-5-4 distribution, you have some options. If you're 5-4-3-1 with 3 cards in your partner's major suit, and you don't have enough to reverse, you can raise partner's major suit 1 level. If you don't have 3 card support for partner, and you don't want to bid no trump with a singleton in his suit, if he has only 6 points and you have only 1 card in his suit, he doesn't have a lot in his hand for you to be able to get there. It's often uncomfortable to play 1 no trump with a singleton in your partner's suit. So rebidding the 5 card suit might be your best option. Certainly if it's a self-sufficient 5 card suit, you should give that strong consideration. What do I mean by self-sufficient? Self-sufficient 5 card suit will contain 4 of the top 5 cards. In other words, you have good control of the suit no matter what. Or you can bid no trump if you're 5-4-2-2 and you lack the strength to reverse. Now, with 6-4 hands, the most common thing that you see with these hands is 6 clubs and 4 diamonds. Have you noticed how often these unbalanced hand patterns involve the minor suits? For some reason, they just seem to. 6 clubs and 4 diamonds, pretty common thing, followed by 6 clubs and 4 hearts, 6 diamonds and 4 hearts, or 6 hearts and 4 spades. Now, sometimes you have enough strength in your hand that you can show both suits, the 6 card suit and the 4 card suit. Typically, a bidding pattern for showing this kind of hand is bid the 6 card suit, rebid the 4 card suit, then rebid the 6 card suit. 6-4-6, we call it. That shows a hand with 6 cards in the suit opened and 4 in the one that was rebid. Sometimes that 4 card suit is pathetic, one that nobody would want to rebid. And in that case, you can just rebid your 6 card suit. You have a built-in rebid if you don't think that 4 card suit is worth showing. Or if it turns out that you would have to reverse to show that 4 card suit, you have, if you don't have enough values to do that, you have a built-in rebid with that 6 card suit. 6-4 hands are a little easier to bid than 5-4 hands are, in that you have a built-in rebid here. There is seldom a need to reverse lacking the points when you have 6-4. If you have either a really weak 4 card suit, making it kind of silly, you think, to show it, or you lack the points to reverse, if that's what it would require to show the 4 card suit, then just rebid the 6 card suit. No biggie. Now we're getting into an area here that gets a little more involved. These are hands with extreme distribution. I hardly ever used to, when we hand shuffled, I hardly ever picked up hands that had extreme distribution in them. But now that we have truly random hands, it seems to me like they occur a little more often than they used to, and that's because of the random nature of the deals, I guess. But what I'm going to say is we've come to a point that would be a good stopping point for us to begin again next week. If anybody has any questions or would like for me to repeat any of this or give you some more examples, I'll be happy to do that. Whatever you would like to do. If you feel overwhelmed and don't even feel like you can ask a question, then tell me what you would like to have repeated or how I could help you.
I have a basic question based on everything you taught today.
Sure.
So if my partner bids one spade and then I have 6 to 9 points, but I do not have a no trump bid, do I still bid one no trump saying I have 6 to 9 points and no other bid?
Yes.
Okay,
If you lack support for your partner's opening major suit, and when it's one spade and you have 6 to 9 points, there's only one bid that's available to you. Because you don't have enough to bid at the 2 level. When you respond one no trump to any suit that your partner opens, if there was a 4-card major suit you could have mentioned and you didn't, you deny having 4 cards in that major suit. Basically, the one no trump response says, I have no 4-card major suit that I can show you. I don't have enough points to bid at the 2 level. So this is what I'm stuck with. I have 6 to 9 points and no other bid available to me. One no trump. It does not promise a stop in the opponent's suit if your opponent overcalled. Say if your partner opened 1 diamond and your partner bid 1 heart, one no trump by you does not promise a heart stop. You might have one, but it doesn't promise one. It is a catch-all bid, and it basically means I need to bid. You could have 19 points over there. And I've got at least 6. I need to bid something. So my only choice here, partner, is one no trump. So that's what you do, Sherry.
thank you. That's really helpful.
I don't have bid. I don't have anything else. This is my only option. Anybody else have a question?
Susie does.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit here. If I'm with a responder and I have absolutely minimum, it's a little scary to be required to bid. So if there's interference and the opponents are bidding, can I just exit without a rebid?
We're going to cover that subject next week, reverses when there's been competitive bidding. That's on the agenda for next week. That gets, and in many cases, yes, you can. Same thing is true when you've used other type conventions, like say a support double, and there's been some interference and you've got a really weak opening bid. Sometimes you pass because your partner has a chance to bid again. So the short answer to that is yes, if your partner has the chance to bid again, it can be considered. But remember, your partner has promised you at least 17, a hand worth at least 17 points. It may be worth 19 or 20, and he just couldn't open 2 no trump.
Okay, so a support double promises 3 of partner suit. Is there a point requirement?
No, because you've already, that is opener's double. So you can be minimum or maximum. And I'm working on a lesson on support doubles. It's a couple of 3 weeks down the road from being finished yet. But basically that particular bid, no matter how strong the opener is, when you have added support doubles to your convention card, that bid takes precedence over all others. Rebidding a 6-card suit, bidding no trump to show a stopper in the opponent's suit, that support double showing 3-card support for partner's major suit that he responded takes precedence over all others. And it shows there's no point requirement because you've already opened the bidding. You have at least an opening hand. So it could be a very strong hand or it could be just a minimum opener.
So a negative double by responder, when there's interference going on, doesn't have a point requirement either. It just for the other major.
Well, no, it requires at least 6 points.
Okay.
Obviously, responder has to have at least 6 points, but it may be he could have an opening hand. But using the negative double can describe a 4-card major suit, or by bidding 1 spade over 1 heart can show a 5-card spade suit. So there are literally no ceilings on The only ceiling that's on the support double is the fact that partner didn't open 2 no trump or 2 clubs. We know he has an opening hand, but he could have 18 points. Same thing with responder in the negative double. He has at least 6 points, but he could have 18 or 19, and you might end up looking for a slam. But you're right. The point requirements for either one of those doubles are just what their position indicates in the bidding cycle. And you're right. The support double is opener's double. Each chair has a double. Opener has the support double. Person to the left of the opener has the takeout double. Responder has the negative double, and the person to the right of the opening bidder has the responsive double, which doesn't get used as much, but you know, maybe sometime in the next year or so, we'll get into responsive doubles a little bit.
And Roy has a question.
Go right ahead, Roy.
This gets back to the splinter bid by opener.
Uh-huh.
How does your partner know that you are doing a splinter bid versus a jump shift bid? In this example, 1 diamond, 3 hearts?
Well,
Or does it make a difference?
It depends on whether you and your partner play jump shift by open or splinters by opener. If you play splinters by opener, that would take the place of that particular bid. It depends on how you and your partner play. You're right, that looks like a jump shift. Not very many pairs play splinters by opener. They require essentially the same number of high card points. A jump shift requires 19 at a minimum, and certainly having partner insist on game opposite what could be a minimum by responder here requires at least 19. It all depends on how you have agreed to play this bid. You have to make it.
Okay.
Well, isn't it the case that the two hearts there is a strong enforcing bid?
Yes.
And it seems to me that it's well worth the little ambiguity with the 2 heart bid to have the splinter of the splinter bid at your disposal.
Yeah, well, I think you're right, Don. You're right. 2 hearts is strong enforcing. Splinter bids technically are 1 level above the forcing call. That's the way you tell a splinter bid. So I'm with you, Don. I like having 3 hearts to show the splinter, because if you have a strong forcing hand, you can bid 2 hearts and then support this, you know, work on finding your fit later if you needed to do that, if you didn't have the splinter. Does that make sense, Roy?
It does make sense. Essentially, you're probably not going to end up playing in this example in the hearts. You're just showing.
That shows short hearts.
You're showing points and distribution and
spade support. Yes, 4 card spade support.
Yeah.
got it.
It's another one of those find a forcing bid, and it's one of those where we stress and re-stress forcing and non-forcing bids. So
I got it.
It allows you to find those slams and make a game in the right suit rather than just blast the 3 no trump and hope for the best.
Yeah.
I got it. Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you. That's great. Well, thank you guys.
Roy, a lot of people struggle with splinters by opener because, and Don's exactly right. The way that you can tell if it's a splinter by opener is it's the level, 1 level above what would be a strong forcing bid. 2 hearts would be a reverse. So the jump reverse is the splinter.
That's a good way to think of it. Thank you.
Yeah, and it's incredibly valuable when it occurs.
Yes. It didn't come up very
You're now
often.
on your way.
It does. It hits the nail on the head. Hi, this is Susan. Thanks for stopping by the Oklahoma Collective's YouTube channel. Basically, this channel shows recordings of our free 1-hour bridge lessons for advancing players that we offer every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Central Time. If you would like to join us, send your contact information to the email address shown on the screen, and we'll be happy to send you the link. If you would like to follow our channel and be notified when a new recording is uploaded, just click the Oklahoma Collective button below. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.